My third year. I've done this 90 times now, okay? I've done all 30 teams. With this video, the Utah Jazz, what to expect. For the third year in a row, we're doing our season prediction and preview for every 30 team in the NBA, okay? And now we're going to finish it off with the Utah Jazz. As you guys know, this roster looks a little bit different. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your three opinions. Who are your first of these opinions? I want to hear the first one in the comment section. Who's your X factor? I could say my bias pick is Leandro Balmaro because I'm Argentine. Me encantan los argentinos. Cualquiera que jueguen el básquetbol. No sé por qué estoy teniendo difícil. I don't even fucking know. I'm too stoned right now to speak Spanish. But I was quería decir que me encanta el Leandro Balmaro, pero no sé por qué no podía hablar por un momento. Either way, but guys, look, Leandro Balmaro would be my X factor, but the real one, I think Simon Fontecchio, Pescara. That's where my dad's from. That's where my family's from in Italy. My family's from Argentina, Italy, and Yugoslavia, and technically Basque Country, France, and as well as the Ottoman Empire. But that's like here nor there. Simon Fontecchio, my family's from Pescara. He's from Pescara. I think he's a dark horse to win Rookie of the Year. This guy has the chance of, I really think he played shooting guard at times, small forward, and he's like a power forward in the NBA. So I think he's just freaking phenomenal. He's like really athletic. Now that's my X factor, Simon Fontecchio. And now my second question for you guys is I want to hear from you guys. What do you think the team's record is going to be? I really don't think this team is that bad. Obviously, they're going to be in the lottery, but I don't think they're the worst rebuilding team. Like they kind of have like good players. And third, what is your expectation from the season? I expect, Udoka Azubuike. This is me being a biased KU fan as well. So Ochai Agbaji. Agbaji's just, it's funny that Malik Beasley and Agbaji are on the same team because Agbaji is the same player Malik Beasley is offensively, except Agbaji is a plus defender already and probably one of the better defenders on this team. Then Udoka Azubuike is supposedly going to start with, Walker Kessler and being the primary backup. Jared Vanderbilt's a power forward. And I think with Udoka Azubuike, if he's in shape, like I hope he is, and if he looks like the guy he was his senior year at KU, Rock Chalk baby, and he's going to be easily a guy who can average like 10 and 10. Now, I want to talk about this team. The biggest question with the Utah Jazz is they're building their culture. The Jazz beat writer for The Athletic, Tony Jones, shares the main concern with the Jazz is getting an identity after the changes they've made since their first round exit in April against the Dallas Mavericks. Since that Game 6 loss, Utah saw longtime head coach Quin Snyder step down and be replaced by former Boston Celtics assistant Will Hardy, WonderCon, while Danny Ainge put his stamp on the organization by trading all-stars Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Other players have been traded as well, with more perhaps soon to come. Though Jordan Clarkson is allegedly staying there. But right now the team's in an indefinite period of transition. The current roster is Ochai Agbaji, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Udoka Azubuike, Malik Beasley, Leandro Balmaro, Jared Vanderbilt, Jared Butler, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, Simon Fontecchio, Rudy Gay, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Johnny Juzang on a two-way. So they have one more two-way spot open. Walker Kessler, Saban Lee, Lowry Marketing, Kelly Olynyk, Colin Sexton, and Cody Zeller. Yep. That's an interesting roster right there. And when you look at the team right now, they have a bunch of young guys that they need to take a look at. And there are players fighting to get a second contract. There are guys that need to be developed. In a season of transition, the players that the Jazz need to gather information about are here. The front office needs to know if they have some players on this team that are going to fit the future. And the Jazz also have some veterans that need to get on the floor. There are guys who can increase their trade value individually before the deadline. And there are also guys that need to show the youngsters the way. Simple things, how to be a professional in an unforgiving league and be adults in a room where there's a lot of young guys. Now, the Jazz need their young guys this year. The Jazz sorely need an injection of youth. Okay, they have to see what they have in Udoka Azubuike, Ochai Agbaji, Walker Kessler. Okay, they need to see what they have in Simon Fontecchio, even though he's more like 6. Leandro Balmaro, Taylor Horton-Tucker, even Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We need to see what they have in those guys. These are all guys that they need to figure out what is going on. And they need Mike Conley more than ever, actually. That's why he's not traded. It doesn't matter if it's affecting wins and losses. It's just coming to them reestablishing their culture, a culture they collectively lost control of last season, allegedly, from what we heard. And a quote from Kelly Olynyk, since he's been there, is that we have to try and take a step forward every day. Success isn't going to happen overnight, so we just have to try and figure out a way to get better every single day. And a key for Utah is the front office. Will Hardy and his coaching staff look balanced. And not only do they have all these young guys, they have young guys on their second contracts like Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, and Jared Vanderbilt, and they're going to be a big part. And I think they're going to definitely find those three guys in the starting lineup. I think the starting lineup: Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, Jared Vanderbilt, probably Udoka Azubuike, and then you probably put in guard Mike Conley. That's not a bad squad right there. That's not a bad squad whatsoever. And then, the Jazz are excited about Abaji and Kessler, which were two 2022 first-round picks. They have players such as Taylor Horton-Tucker, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Jared Butler that the Jazz will want to develop. And having Conley there, and then having guys like Jordan Clarkson, Malik Beasley, and Rudy Gay, who will play as well. Here's the thing. The Jazz are in a phase of transition that they're almost a sure bet to be a significant player in the NBA deadline, either as a buyer or a seller, okay? Because you can't find value for incumbent veterans. And those veterans aren't valuable if they're not playing. So Jazz are in a playoff position by February? No, that's probably not. If they were, they're going to sell off everything as quick as hell. But, I'm kidding. There's actually a chance if they're a decent team, maybe they just, do a retooling. There's a lot that could happen here. For me, I think this could go either way. This team could be a lot better than people think, and they could just have a retooling, okay? And the thing is they want Kessler, Abaji, and those other young guys that I've mentioned to find their footing. Okay, they want Markkanen to prove who's a guy who played phenomenal in the Eurobasket for Finland, to expand his game and see if he can be, a main guy or a secondary scorer, like a Robin to somebody's Batman. They want Sexton, who's coming off a major injury, to play good, build up his confidence. They want Vanderbilt to develop his offensive game because he's already proven he is a defensive stopper at the NBA level, but they want to see if he can do more. And balance is the key. Teams are hesitant to put those kinds of rosters together because sometimes they'll, create selfish play. But if everyone's looking towards the net construct, the difficulty for the team is creating chemistry. But at the same time, in Utah's case, Will Hardy's probably not going to have a hard time coaxing this team to play hard. This team will certainly do that. And I think in conclusion, the Jazz can't be one way. This time, this is a huge youth movement, but at the same time, there's young guys, but they're veterans, and those guys are just as important as each other. And it's how Will Hardy, the head coach, message these vets with young guys, and it'll say if this is going to be a team that's either like the Houston Rockets or if this is a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay? And that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts, if you guys in accordance with me, or am I just being stupid? I think this has just been phenomenal. I've been very much enjoyed, okay, what we've seen so far. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a interesting year, okay, with the Utah Jazz now, because the Utah Jazz are interesting. It's actually I look at this roster and you think of the fact that, okay, maybe, just maybe, we're going to see a team be better than expected. I want your thoughts down below. That's it for me. Puppy show.